working together and building coalitions, and those are the things that I've done before, which is what I laid out to our committee today and what they responded to, and ultimately why they chose me to lead the party moving forward.
But they're talking, Stas was talking about basically a formation of a third party if some things don't happen, like a backing away from medical expansion, which is not going to happen from the executive office. So you're looking at a potential split from the party from these conservatives who say they helped elect you guys in 2010. I mean, how do you stem that tide?
Same thing. I mean, it's the same answer. Whoever it was that is going to carry this mantle forward was going to have the awesome responsibility of making sure everyone works together. There's no reason for overconfidence. We've got a governor whose numbers are moving in a great direction. When you look at the breakdowns among Republicans, I think he led the ballot against Ed Fitzgerald like 87-2 or something along those lines. We have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of outreach to do, and it's not that we're going to start doing it. It's that it's already underway, and we are doing it. Tom had an absolute every right and a duty to come and express his opinion today. This is an open process and an open meeting, and he obviously had a handful of committee members who were supportive of his candidacy, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, this is the process that we go through to choose our new chairman and who's going to lead the party forward. And I laid out my vision, he laid out his, and the committee chose which way they want to move forward.
So is the Tea Party, is it just smoke? I mean, how do you interpret it?
Well, I never use those words, and never would. And I hate to say they when referring to the Tea Party, because it's all of us. We're part of a big Republican family. As you know, sometimes family fights are the roughest fights of all. You might say something to your cousin or your brother that you wouldn't say to anyone else. But at the end of the day, you're still family, and you work together, and you do what you know is right for the state. And in this case, what's right for the state, unequivocally, is getting John Kasich reelected governor in 2014.
So Matt, Kevin DeWine was sitting at the table today. The stranger showed up and asked why he's not the chairman anymore. What would your answer be?
Well, that process is something that happened over a year ago. It's done. He's told me he's done and moved on. Kevin's still a member of our state committee. He has absolutely every right to be at that table. He represents his district. He was elected to come and serve and cast his ballot. I was happy to see him there today. I've worked well with Kevin in the past, and Kevin was there because he has a responsibility as a state committee member to participate in important decisions of our committee.
Why is he no longer chairman? What did he do wrong that Governor Kasich decided to?
These are issues that were handled over a year ago. He's over it. The party's moved forward. We have a new direction now. I've spoken privately with Kevin, and he's told me that he's moved on. He's not focused on it anymore. He wants to continue to be active in Republican politics in Ohio, and he will be and should be. And that was him being here was a demonstration of that today.
But Matt, you've been talking about building outreach for a while now. But, is this something to be concerned about? Could you lose conservatives? Could the governor and your statewide ticket have to win next year without them?
Our job is to be concerned. Our job is to address these challenges. It's not just among, Tea Party groups or whomever. We have to do a better job of, I don't think there's any question, we have to do a better job of messaging. We have to do a better job of getting our message out there, making sure Ohioans understand what the conservative principles and policies that have been put into place have done to actually affect the turnaround of the state, which is undeniable, and let voters decide from there.
Vice Chairwoman said in her nomination speech she thinks major changes are needed in the party, and essentially Democrats are ahead in different areas. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, she comes at it from her perspective of looking at the 2012 election. Now, I would say that while there was disappointment at the top of the ticket, without any question, and that election night in 2012 was a bad night for the country because we sent Barack Obama back to the White House for 4 more years. Kay helped turn an historically blue county red and carry that county for Mitt Romney and win her local races, her countywide races. And so she wants to see the kinds of things that she's doing to reach out and build coalitions done statewide, and she's right about that. And, that's something that that we have to improve upon. And it's not something that starts tomorrow. It's not something that starts a month from now. This is something that started the day after Election Day. Looking at what happened, what went wrong, what assumptions did we make that didn't turn out to be accurate, and then figure out a way to put tactics in place for 2013 and 2014 and hopefully 2016, to turn Ohio red again.
Matt, the thought of a third party Tea Party that could shave off 1, 2, 3 points next November. I mean, is it accurate to say that you will be meeting with these folks to avoid that, to do everything possible to avoid that third party scenario?
I don't remember who it was that said it in the meeting, but somebody was making the point that the old Reagan axiom that somebody who agrees with you 80% of the time is your friend and not your enemy. What about someone who agrees with you 95 or 99% of the time? And those are the conversations that we have to have. The thing that I hear more than anyone else is that there's folks who just feel like they aren't listened to, and I can, and already have been, getting underway, making sure that Ohio Republicans across the state have an opportunity to hear from the state party and have their concerns listened to and passed along through the appropriate channels, and I think it's remarkable how communication just goes a long way, and like I said, you've heard me say it several times now. It's not something that we're going to do. It's something that we're already doing, and we'll continue to do. And if anything else, we'll ramp it up and try to do it better.
Any comments on Tom Z's comments on gay marriage?
With regard to?
He said that gay marriage doesn't exist, and he said that what it is, it's for homosexuals to make it so other people can't worship their Bibles.
Tom Z makes a valid point. Gay marriage in Ohio does not exist. We have a constitutional amendment that passed overwhelmingly that states as much. Gay marriage has been defined in Ohio law, and so he's to some extent speaking the obvious. I think what the concern is right now is that because of some polling numbers and because of some information that's been out recently, that there may be an effort to try to get an initiative back on the ballot to overturn Defensive Marriage Act. Well, let's tell you something very clearly right now. If that happens, I'm 100% certain that the state party will oppose it, and if that gets on the ballot, I truly believe that it would fail again, and Ohioans would maintain the current definition that they have of gay marriage.
Matt, as party chair, are you going to make any changes, or what development can we have? Are you just going to be Bob Bennett too, or what can we expect to see from the party?
Well, as you saw me walking up to the podium, I'm shaped more like Bob Bennett. I come from more of the Bob Bennett, a body type than the Kevin DeWine body type, but it's time to, and the Chairman Bennett would agree with this, it's time to move the party in a new direction. That's what I want to do. That's what I'll work very hard to do, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. Now, I will also tell you that while we had to be prepared to put a plan in place, right away, my focus was on today. You can never go into one of these processes looking beyond the vote of your state committee. You've got to be focused on it. That's what I've been focused on, and we'll have some time now, as you know, and as you heard Chairman Bennett say, he will remain chairman until May 31st. I would take over on June 1. We've got some time now to talk about programs and staff and that sort of thing, and we'll work on that here in the meantime.
Matt, as you know, in the news, your tax situation has been part of news reports, and I know you talked today about satisfying them and taking care of them. Have you had any conversations with Scott Elsass about your situation, or have you received any money from him?
Who's Scott Elsass?
PR guy. He's John Kasich's...
Rex?
Rex Elsass? No.
Yeah. Excuse me, Rex.
No.
No, you haven't spoken with him or received any funds from him?
Correct, no.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you feel today's election will affect those questions surrounding the tax lien in the 2004 election? Do you see it as putting an end to it? I anticipate Democrats will hop on it now that you've been elected. Do you think it puts an end to it?
I think I'm done talking about it.
Matt, what about a third party? They're talking about a third party again. It comes up every once in a while. Are you afraid that they might come out with a third party or get conservative candidates that are too conservative to be elected?
Certainly don't want them to do that. And again, I hesitate to use words like they, them. These are all members of our Republican family and part of the coalition that we need to build. I said in my remarks that Ohio is the quintessentially purple state. We win some, we lose some. That's just the way it goes. Now, the truth of the matter is that on statewide elections, we've been remarkably successful, winning 85% of the statewide elections since I arrived in 1990. That's no accident in a 50-50 state. We run better campaigns with better candidates. We're going to continue to vet candidates. We're going to continue to recruit good candidates. We've got a great stable of candidates ready to go when we have some openings on the ticket. Folks like Clarence Mingo, Greg Hartman, and others who I'm looking forward to being future statewide leaders and statewide candidates. And to me, that's really what it's all about. The more that we can do outreach, and the more that we can get buy-in from folks to want to work with us on those efforts, the better shape that we're going to be in as a party.
Are you afraid of a third-party effort?
I mean, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of listen, I wake up every morning knowing that I've got a tremendous amount of work in front of me. And I get to work every day and put forward the effort that I think is required. It's not out of fear. It's out of necessity. I think that, that's just the way that whoever it was that was elected chairman today had to take on this new responsibility, and I'm looking forward to that role.